I was muted. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Let's talk some fantasy. Let's talk some ball. We've got mock drafts on the slate today. So if you guys are looking to get in on some mock drafts, we're going to be opening it up. We're going to be opening it up. To start, we've got a couple dynasty trades in our queue. We've got two of them. If you're on the YouTube or on the Twitch feed, you can see the queue right up there. If you're on TikTok, I'm pointing off at something else. We've got a couple different spots where you can watch the show. Let's get the first one on the board, and then we'll check in. Like, I don't know how to say the name, Oik Tizzy. We will hit your chat questions. Let's get these dynasty trades out there and answered. First one coming through from Sugar's Urgent Care. It should be popping up on your screen right here. We got a nifty little trade graphic. If you're watching on Twitch and on YouTube, you can see the roster of the person who submitted the question. Let's take a look at it. Are we moving in a 10-team, one quarterback start 8? Are we moving Genty for Rashee Rice and Cam Scatterbo? I think you should be getting a little bit more. I think you should be getting a little bit more if you're moving Genty. Sugar Cubes is trying to acquire Genty, and I think this is fine. I think this is enough. I don't know that we're really selling low on Rashee Rice here. I think the value has been starting to come back. The value has been starting to come back here. So I think this is fine. If I had Genty, I probably wouldn't do it and would ask for more, especially in a league like this where it's 10-team start 8. It's pretty shallow. All of the value that would go to players in deeper leagues, DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, even further past that, just kind of goes away. Excuse me, it doesn't go away. It just goes up. It goes up to players like Genty. So I'm taking the Genty side on this one. We've got one more, and then we'll hit the messages in the chat. Just saying Genty side all day. I think so as well, especially with the scoring. James Crabtree saying hi in the YouTube chat. How are you, James? We've got another Dynasty trade question from the queue. If you guys are looking to get your questions added into the queue, if you have Dynasty trade questions, we take those through our site, and then we'll be launching our trade questions for redraft leagues probably next week, starting with ESPN. That integration is just about done. We got a question here from Roro77 in a 14-team Superflex league. Start 10 PPR half-point tight end premium. Are we taking Drake London or Makai Lemon, Malik Willis, Brian Thomas? It's a big package. This side here has Drake London. They have Josh Allen, and they're looking for a quarterback. I think that's what I'm guessing is going on here. We've got someone, Josh Allen, as their only quarterback, and then they have Tua, Jameis Winston, Carson Beck, and if they move Drake London, they could bring in Malik Willis. I don't think I would. If this is what we're trying to do, to bring in a quarterback, I don't think this is what I would be doing. I'm not sure that Malik Willis is the starter throughout the year or that he has much value after this year. So I think I may stay with Drake London. You're getting quite a bit here, but try to find, if the problem is that you want to get a quarterback, I would try to solve that in a different way. Let's chat about some of the messages from the chat. And then we've also got some mock drafts. If you guys are looking to get in on some of those, let me throw that up on the screen. Let's get every day, the streaming software just resets and says, I don't want to show your browser. So we'll put this one back in here. How about that one? If you guys are looking to get in on a mock draft right now live, we're going to post the link in our Discord, and we'll fill this one out and get it started. And then we'll take some questions in the chat as we do it. Here it is on that feed. Let's take the link and put it in the Discord. If you guys are looking for our Discord, if you're on Twitch and on YouTube, you can hit !Discord in the chat. If you're on TikTok, it is in our profile. You can find the link to it there. It is tinyurl.com/boomdiscord. And then we have a mock draft channel where I'm about to post a link for people to join in. I'm scanning my screen for it right now. Why am I having such a tough time? It is in the redraft fantasy section. put mock draft in there, and then as this one fills in, we'll get it started. Moses, who am I taking at 5? McCaffrey, Amon-Ra, JSN. I think any of those are fine. Oik Tizzy, I keep getting mixed opinions. I got 107 in a 12-team league. Amon-Ra or 2 RBs. I would take Amon-Ra there. I would go with Amon-Ra at pick 7 over taking 2 running backs. August, how do you feel about Justin Jefferson this year? Does Kyler help his value? Does Kyler help his... Yeah, I mean, I think he's going... Justin Jefferson, we're about to do this mock draft. I think he'll go in the first round, and I think he should go in the first round. Does Kyler help his value? Like, yes. Yeah, I think it helps his value a lot. I think Justin, who am I thinking? JJ McCarthy was pretty terrible. Jorge, if you're looking to join, it's in our Discord. We've got a mock draft channel. We posted it. We'll just go to the Discord right here. It's very blinding on my face. Here are some messages. Here's our channel. Here's our server. It's right here in the mock drafts channel. We've got a redraft fantasy section. The link is right there. Is that Vinny Noah? Is it? Maybe I just go with Noah. Who should I take at the 108? Jonathan Taylor and Amon-Ra are not available. If those guys aren't available, who is available? Who is available? Let's look. At pick 8, where we go Gibbs, Bijan, Chase, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then whichever one of these guys is still there. If you're at pick 8 and Amon-Ra and Jonathan Taylor are not available, that means one of JSN, McCaffrey, Puka, Chase, Bijan, and Gibbs is available. So I would just take whichever one of them is. Deadeye, how are you? On the Twitch, how are you? Well, Tizzy, if CMC falls to me at 107, him or Amon-Ra, if you like CMC, take him. I don't know that here's the real answer. Like Tizzy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Not like fantasy doesn't matter, but for your league and your scoring and your chances at winning this league, the difference between taking Amon-Ra or Christian McCaffrey is not really going to sway the way that your season goes in a way that anybody could tell you. Like you're in the right, you just want to be in the right ballpark, in the right tier. So as long as you get into the right tier, as long as you're not like reaching multiple tiers to grab a player, you're fine. So any of those guys is totally fine. Posts Riffy, you like any mid-round running backs? Tootin, Monty, Price, Swift. I like Jadarian Price. I like DeAndre Swift. I think Tootin's fine. And then Montgomery is a little bit overpriced for what I might take. B, I got Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Cook, and Chase Brown 10-team PPR. Let me know. It sounds like a team. That sounds like 3 rounds. Wait, Tizzy, what round should I search for a tight end? I have a general rule. And I've got my draft strategy, Oik Tizzies. I'm just guessing at how to say your name. If I go to YouTube, is it going to find it for me if I pull this off screen? View your channel. Videos. For the questions that you've got, like when should I search for a tight end? That's the wrong view. Here's the view with this browser. We've got our best draft strategies. Like when do we look for a tight end? When do we look for a quarterback? When do we go running back heavy and so on? So I think this is very helpful there. Marcus, what do you think about Genty, Hampton, and Scatabo in 1, 2, 3? I think it's really early for Scatabo. I think it's really early compared to where Scatabo is going in the for the 3rd round. Ashton Genty himself asks how long it take for this mock draft to fill up. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. How would I know? What would it change? If you, here, 2 minutes. Now what? B, I got Scat in the 5th. Yeah, I think he goes in around the 5th round, 4th round, 5th round. Cheeky Figs, I picked 2nd, got Bijan, Genty, and Rashee as 1, 2, 3. Not bad, not bad. Post Riffy, yeah. It's in our Discord, Post Riffy. We've got a mock draft channel. The link is right here. The link is right there. It's tinyurl.com/boom discord. You can do that from any browser. If you're on Twitch and on YouTube, you can just type !Discord and it'll send you the link in the chat. The Great Bardino. Do I like Jadarian Price at all? If so, which round would I take him? Like 6th or 7th round, and I like him quite a bit. And then I'm probably just going to draft Pacheco or Charbonnet in round 12 or round 11. Once we get into round 10, 11, 12 in a 12-team league, I don't know that you're really ever reaching for anyone. So if I draft Jadarian Price, I'll probably just draft Charbonnet as well, and then have that covered whenever. JC Crocs. I don't know if that's the name. Would you trade Christian McCaffrey and Ladd for Amon-Ra and Henry? What type of trade are we talking about? A redraft trade? Is this a redraft league? Would I trade Christian McCaffrey and Ladd for Amon-Ra and Derrick Henry? I think I would want Amon-Ra, or I would want Christian McCaffrey. No, I would want Amon-Ra and Ladd. What am I? I'm farting so hard on this. I would want Amon-Ra and Derrick Henry. McCaffrey and Amon-Ra are like interchangeable in drafts. They're going 5 and 6. And then Derrick Henry's going much earlier than Ladd. So that's what I would look at. Mr. Wilson 247, where should Cyrus Allen get drafted in a rookie draft? He'll probably get drafted in the 2nd round. Should he be? Man, I'm not that high on him. Jorge is it Villena? Bon Hair, thank you for the follow. And we'll cover your and we'll hit yours, Bon Hair. What is it? Bijan or Chase at 102, assuming Gibbs is gone. I like Chase. I like Chase at 101. I like Chase fine at 101. If you want, but if at that point, like they're even. You honestly, Jorge, you could flip a coin and it's not really going to, and that choice is not really going to affect your league. Matthew, how high or low on Njoku as a late tight end snipe? I'm not. -- Can you join the mock? Yeah, you can. It's in our Discord. It's in the Discord. Bonhurst, startup dynasty this year, 12-man. I have picks 6 and 7. I want Bowers and Amon-Ra. What do you think? I think that's early. I mean, I don't know your league settings, Bonhurst. Typically, when we start a dynasty league, it's 12 teams start 10 with Superflex. I would say Bonhur, check this out, Bonhur. Go to Dynasty Data Lab ADP. You can go to Dynasty Data Lab Startup ADP right here, and then come to this sample and change your settings. Change the settings so that it matches your league. Like rookies are included, or I think this shows like rookies, simple picks, rookies. Oh, it includes rookies instead of picks. Change it to match how many teams are in your league and the basic scoring, and then it'll give you a much better gauge of where those guys are going to see where you're getting Amon-Ra or someone else. If I had a better source, I would tell you this is a very good one. I use this when I'm doing startup drafts, just to get a gauge of like, am I reaching too much or should I be trading back to try to get the players that I actually want? If you guys are looking to get into this mock draft that we're doing, hit up the Discord, tinyurl.com/boomdiscord. And then it's in our mock drafts channel. If you're on Twitch and on YouTube, you can just type !Discord and it'll go through. It'll send you the link in the chat. I don't think I can send clickable links in our TikTok chat, but we're filling this up. We've got, 6 spots remaining? 6 spots remaining, and then we'll start ripping it, and we'll do a couple of them. Manny G, you think Javonte can finish as a top 10 back? I think he finished higher than both Jacobs and Kyron. No, he didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't. Let's take a look. Let's confirm it. I don't know why Javonte Williams is going ahead of Kyron Williams in redrafts. Sleeper.com. Let's just hit this and then go to... Why doesn't this show my leagues? There we go. We can pull up player stats. I know Kyron Williams was running back 7 in PPR scoring, and Javonte Williams was running back 12. So 12 is right there. It might be a little bit small on the screen if you're on TikTok, and I can't make it much bigger. Maybe that's bigger. It's not a ton bigger. He was running back 12. I don't know why Javonte Williams would be getting drafted ahead of Kyron Williams this year. Kyron Williams has always been a top 10 running back. Arf, any drafting advice for a league that uses a double flex, no super flex, just an additional flex spot? Quarterbacks are less valuable. Arf. Quarterbacks would become even less valuable if you have an extra flex and no super flex. We still have spots remaining in our mock draft. A quarterback would become less valuable because we're adding in. You need to think of value as a finite amount. So even if you're just doing a snake draft like this one, I think if you take your mind and pivot and say, what if this was an auction draft and we all had $200 to bid, we would set our prices. And then if we added in another starter, well, now we need to take some of that money that we were using to bid on some players and spread it out a little bit further for more running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, etc. But we don't add any more quarterbacks that need to start. So value just has to come out of quarterbacks and go to running backs and wide receivers. So I would target late round quarterbacks even more in a league with that setup. Bonher, how do you join on the mock draft? It's in our Discord. You can type tinyurl.com/boomdiscord to get into the Discord from TikTok, because TikTok doesn't have chat commands. But if you're on Twitch and on YouTube, you can just type !Discord and get on in. And then I think some people moved around. We've got 5 spots remaining. If somebody wants pick 10, they could snag it from me. This isn't a real league. Giard's real draft or mock? Just a mock draft. Just a mock. The great Bardino for the 11-12 turn. So if you're in a 10-team league, we're talking picks 11 to 12. Would you go Barkley or Genty? I feel better with Barkley. What do you think? I go Genty a little bit with how far down Barkley fell last year. I think Barkley was running back 14. I know they have a better offensive coordinator, but it's a pretty big dip to go down to running back 14 there. Round 2, first and 2. Yeah. First and second picks is what you mean? Yeah. You mean round 1, round 2 turn? Yo, let me get pick 10. I see you in the chat. I'll just jump over to pick 4. Take it. So I may go Genty there. He was running back 11 last year with a much better offensive line this year with, I cannot ever remember this guy's name. Great center, signed with the Raiders this year, which is why I like Genty more this year. His name will come to me. He comes over from the Raiders. He signed like the highest contract for an offensive line ever. Why am I blanking on his name? Someone in the chat will hit it. Jacob Hoffman with the same question 3 times. Try it again in a couple minutes, Jacob. You could see the chat, Jacob. You could see that no one had said anything in between you. You could see it, Jacob. Linderbaum, thank you. Thank you, Matt Stouffer. Thank you. The great Bardino on Twitch. Thank you very much. Davis, 107-10, man. I get Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Genty, Neighbors, Ibuka, Loveland, and JMO rate. Davis, we're going to start doing draft rankings and team follow-ups and rankings starting next week with ESPN leagues, and then Yahoo probably later next week, because we like to see the whole team. If we're just looking at the top 7 picks, it looks good, but everyone's top 7 picks should generally look pretty good. Edu Segura, the link is tinyurl.com/boomdiscord. Here, I'll post it right there. tinyurl.com/boomdiscord. And then once you're in the Discord, we have our mock drafts channel. There's a redraft fantasy section and mock drafts. And here's a link right there. Easy peasy. We got 2 remaining. And I'll go through and I'll lower the time on those so that we can keep going quickly. Aiden, question, is Pitts a good pick as the first overall? He's the only pick, Aiden. He's the only pick. That's all we ever do is pick Kyle. I mean, I thought everyone knew Kyle. That's why no one has said it this whole offseason. That's why you're not seeing videos saying like, hey, take Kyle Pitts first overall. It's because we all know it. We all know it. Luke Skyward, do we need to do anything else other than just submit the team? Talk to me what you mean, Luke. Just submit the team. Let's bring down the... We're going to bring this down to 30 seconds so that we can do a couple of these tonight. It's a 12-team PPR. I am going from pick 4. Snake, do we have all the settings right? 12-team, 30 seconds. It will put you on auto pick. And I'll be talking through it as we go. And then we'll take a look at some of the teams at the end. For the review of our fantasy, Luke, it'll be there next week. Sometime next week. If you have a dynasty team to review, that is available on our site. Do I have that pulled up? It'll be on the site. Luke Skywalker, boombustfantasy.com. If you have a dynasty league, we already have a team advice tab where you can select the league that you're in and hit request team review, and that'll add it to the queue. We'll have something very similar to this for redraft so that we can why is my brain farting? So that we can pull up your team on the show, on the screen. But that'll be coming next week. Let's take a look at this startup, or excuse me, not a startup. At this mock draft, I'm at pick 4. We're going to start it up. Yep. We got Bub at the 101. Do I do gridiron leagues on ESPN Fantasy? I'm not sure what that means. Ashton Genty, you should make fantasy leagues with fans to join. I have 10 of them, Ashton Genty. I've got 10 dynasty leagues that we have started. We'll pause this. Tyler Chin. Can you mute the sound? Yeah. 1 second. How do I remove someone? Remove the player. How do you boot someone? How's it clicking? It's Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Let's go! Let's go!
I don't know how to boot him. Let's take a look. Here's where sound would go. Create a copy, draft settings, roster settings, draft order. Why can't I kick him? General settings. Do you guys know a way to kick him? Link is invalid for the Discord. Giards. This one here? It's not. Yeah, it's not. Tyler Christopher, don't think you can manually select players for him? Sure. Let's see. We'll click this. Set player. We'll just put Jamar Chase there and keep things moving. All right, I'm here at my pick. Yeah, if he's being weird, just pick him. Is that what other people do? We'll hit resume. Who am I taking at 4? At 4, I would just take Puka. If these 3 are gone, Jamar Chase, Bijan, Gibbs, I would go Puka at 4. Tyler Christopher says, don't think you can. Is Tyler Chin in the chat? I don't know. I don't know. St. Brown at 6, McCaffrey at 5. That all seems normal. That all seems normal. Luke Skywalker each week gets a prize. They are 10-man PPR, and once fantasy playoff starts, everyone team goes to a leaderboard and top 10 each week gets a prize. Cooper Mercer, I need your help, man. Then put a question in the chat, Cooper. Post Riffy, if it starts, I don't think you can, sadly. Okay. Well, one person's not going to ruin everything for us. Barely Bat can't join up on Sleeper. I have a request, though. After the mock, can you look at the 8th pick roster when you're done? That's my pick this year. Yeah, we can look at it. I mean, we could do another one, or you can join Barely Bat and take from the 8th. DeMonta Smith or Zay Flowers from Weston. These guys are very similar tiers to me. I might go Devonta Smith. I really like both of them. I think if it came to me in a draft to take those guys, there's not a ton of I would be super happy with either one of them. So if I'm taking them at pick 10, I may be asking like if I or not pick, say for example, I'm at wherever they're going and I'm on the turn, I may try to let one go through and then get the other one that's there. That's the way I would think about it. They're pretty interchangeable to me. Can we do a 10-man super flex next? Jeff, I don't know. Jeff, I will tell you, if I'm starting a league and it's not in, something for like fans like this that I would put on the show, I'd put the draft board on the show. I do super flex leagues, but man, the amount of people that come through and complain that someone might have taken a quarterback in the first round, it's just a lot of that. Jacob Hoffman, where do you rank Kenneth and Javonte? And Ken's going to go in the second round here, and I don't know that I understand it. I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of Ken Walker drafting in the second round. And then Javonte Williams, I would take like late third, early fourth. Do I have that right? Like Ken Walker's about to go, Javonte Williams. Okay, on Sleeper, Kyron Williams is going ahead. Do I have this right? At pick 32? Do they have Javonte behind him? No, I think they have Javonte ahead. I think he should just be going after Kyron Williams. We'll take a look at it as he pops up on the board. Cooper, 10-man league. I have pick 10. Would you trade round 4 and 6 for their 4th and 5th pick? Well, you guys can trade. I've never done a league where you can trade draft picks. Make sure to pause and pick. We'll see if this guy fixes it. Otherwise, we'll pause and we'll reset at ZP. Oh, I'm on the clock here. Bowers goes, Trey McBride goes. If Nico Collins is here, I would take him. I would not take Ken Walker here. I would probably consider Derrick Henry ahead of him. And we can go through and pull up their player cards afterwards. I could also take Jeremiah Love here. I don't know that he's going to fall to 304, but I just like the value of Nico Collins. Actually, I'm going to take Derrick Henry because I do like Nico Collins in this range. I'd be fine with Nico Collins like right around here. But if I'm in a real draft and I think there's a chance he falls to me, I may try to do that. Rashad Hassan, who did I take at the 5th pick? Don't overthink it. McCaffrey or Amon-Ra St. Brown. If any of these 4 guys are available, you take them. But this isn't the best advice, Rashid, is your first round pick doesn't matter that much. Your first round pick just doesn't matter that much. They're some of the most important players. They're some of the highest scoring players that you will have. So like it feels like, man, I shouldn't mess up this pick. But nobody in the fantasy market is really, nobody in like fantasy analysis, fantasy, anything, whoever you ask, like anytime I'm reading a message in the chat, I'm also assuming you go when you ask someone else. You get a lot of opinions. That's what you should do. Okay, we'll pause it. This pick here, we'll just remove the player and we'll go with the top guy there. Manually set player to George Pickens. Oh. Manually set player, you have to click the plus. Cool. And then we'll resume it. Who do I take at the... Yeah, we covered that one. Oh, Rashid Hassan. Nobody doing any sort of fantasy analysis actually could tell you which of these guys not to take. So taking them generally around this order, especially with top 5, just take whichever guy's there and you're going to be okay. Okay, so I thought Jeremiah Love might come back to me here. We'll go with Derrick Henry and Jeremiah Love. And then we may look to grab another running back later. I may look to get someone a little bit more solid at an RB2. Tyler Chin, what did I do? I'm so confused, dude. Cool, Tyler. Tyler, the funniest guy. You're the funniest guy. Okay, we just won't show the chat. Guys, Tyler's just looking for a reaction out of you. If we just don't say anything and then fix his picks as he does it, like, oh my gosh, he's having so much fun. Kyron Williams in the 3rd at 305. I do really like that compared to other running backs. Like I would take him ahead of Josh Jacobs. I would take him ahead of Breece Hall. I would take him ahead of Bucky Irving, who I also like. And I think on Sleeper, Javonte Williams is about where I would take him. He goes in this same range, but back half of the third round is about where I would take him, and that's sleeper ADP. Looking at ESPN ADP, what we saw was Javonte Williams was much earlier and ahead of Kyron Williams, and I like it flipped. Kyron ahead of Javonte Williams. Someone in the chat asked, show the player card, like, does Javonte Williams outscore Kyron this year? I mean, he was running back 12 and Kyron was running back 7. So I don't know that he's going to outscore him. I mean, he definitely could, but I would always take the Kyron side. Luke, how do I feel about Neighbors? Sometimes we don't have to know. He's looked okay in camp. The timeline as of when he got injured last year, like when Malik Neighbors got injured early last year, I was expecting that he would be available to play by the start of the year. And then in summer, we're hearing like, oh, it's not in line with that, or it might not be in line with that. If you have to draft right now, I think Neighbors going early third round, I think that's an okay risk. And then we'll wait and see. I'm not drafting until later in August, and we'll have way more information there. We'll have way more information. So we don't need to know. Jewel Preem, I have the 4th pick in a 10-man. What do you recommend as my 3rd pick, since I always go wide receiver, running back? I was thinking Malik. I think that's okay. I mean, list some of the players that you're deciding between in a 10 team. How can I connect to your Discord? Oh no, it's this. Should be this. tinyurl.com/boom discord. Ev, in a keeper league, do I keep Hampton or keep Neighbors, please? I may just keep Hampton. Just on Ev, just on I mean, we're tracking Hampton's going 12 picks ahead of Malik Neighbors in drafts, which means most people like Hampton more than Neighbors. So if you don't know what to go with, just go with most people like this other guy. So if I want to make a trade, I can. Or if someone drafted Neighbors, you could probably send Hampton for Neighbors and more. CW, are we doing another public mock draft? Yeah. DL 12-team PPR keeper league. Keep Pickens round 4 or D Smitty round 6. I think I'm taking Pickens in 4. Just take the player that's good and get who's good and at a good value. We're thinking Malik. So it's Malik Neighbors, Jeremiah Love, Nico Collins. I mean, Nico Collins has just been a top 10 wide receiver. Is that Bon-Hur? Tom Brady is the GOAT, but still, is that Bon-Hur? Is Bon-Hur Tyler Chin? I don't know. Henderson at 408. I like him going after Etienne and Bucky Irving. Bon-Hur says, no, I'm not. Okay. Frank, Nico or Rice PPR 10-man. I mean, I like Nico. But it's very close. Oh, I'm on the clock. In this round, at the end of round 4, I could take Judkins. Oh, I'm only looking at running backs. I'll take Loveland. Loveland in the 4th, I really like that. I should pay more attention to when I'm coming up on the clock. I'm just checking out the chat. We'll keep an eye on Tyler here. We'll probably just set it to whatever the top ADP is. Clayton, I'm drafting Jeremy Bernard. He's cooking right now. I personally wouldn't, Clayton. But if I did, Clayton, I'd say you could probably get him with the last pick in the draft in that range. Ronnie the Savage, what do I think of the Hampton Chase Brown duo? I think Hampton, I like Hampton like mid to late 2nd round. Where did it go here? 201. I kind of would just default to like some of the players that I've seen do it before there. I'm not going to be surprised if Hampton is very, very good. But I tend to stick with someone that I've seen harder, or just that I've seen do it. CW, this draft feels way harder than recent years. I'm not sure about that. They're all kind of the same. Here, we'll change this to the first non-quarterback because he already drafted a quarterback, and we'll try to keep it looking normal. William, remove Tyler pick. I'm watching William. I'm scanning them. CW, it feels way harder. What feels harder about it? Jameson Williams goes, I don't have a quarterback. I'm going to wait very late to take a quarterback. And I think what I'm going to end up doing here is grab, like, if I take Luther Burden, we're looking for big upside swing. Is there a running back in this range I like? I could go for Tootin. I think I'll go with Burden. And my thought, whoops, clicked the wrong thing. Pause that. And we'll just change this to the player that I was saying. Luther Burden. There we go. My thought with taking Luther Burden there is like, if this hits within a couple weeks, I'm probably trading it. Oh, William, he's not wasting any time. Scoob, we're manipulating the numbers. It's just a mock draft. It's just a mock draft. I might do some of these. I don't know if I can do the mock draft and not be in it. Someone sent me AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb for Puma and Waddle. Should I accept? Jake, if it's a dynasty trade, put it in on the site and we'll pull it up. William Gizmo, love the Burden pick. I like him in the 5th. I think he's fine in the 5th. I'm not taking Luther Burden in the 4th round. And this would then be a player that I think is very shoppable. Big upside. Also very big downside. Very big downside with Luther Burden. Is Hampton Worth a first round keeper in a full 12-man PPR, Mike C? I don't think he is. I would look at other options, Mike C. Don't burden me with Luther, Scoopy Steve. Darian Ladd, Ibuka, or Devonta. I would be torn between Ibuka or Devonta there. Is this Ishan? Ishan or Isan? Would it be bad if or Isa or some I'll try my best. You tell me how to say it and I will. Would it be bad to draft Jamar and Chase Brown, or should I target a different running back to diversify? No, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It is not bad to draft players on the same team. I do think of it when looking at, if someone asks that question, it is sort of a symptom of, oh, maybe they're not great at fantasy. And that's not the way I wanted that to sound. So I'll try it again. I would think that's more of a beginner level question. It's fine if you draft players from the same team, because you should constantly be looking to make trades in general, whether you have players from the same team or not. The teams that are going to win more leagues are the ones that are constantly building trade packages and sending them out to their league mates. And no one on your league should be sacred, or no one on your roster should be sacred. So if you take Chase Brown paired with Jamar Chase, especially if you're getting Jamar Chase like here at the top of the draft and Chase Brown way in the 2nd round, it's just such a good value that you can end up using those guys in trades elsewhere. Trading Chase Brown and a player that you find, like, after the draft, I'm trying to take my 2nd round pick and someone that I got in round 10, 11, 12 that starts to look good early in the season and trade them for 1st rounders, because there's so many players that are just going to show up mid-season and gain value, whether from injury or from just being good, like rookies that kind of break out and we didn't draft them, that I want to constantly be doing 2-for-1 trades, 3-for-2 trades, and freeing up roster spots to grab those guys. Uplifted Man, thank you for the follow. The Robert Broom team looking nice. Is that you? I think he was one of the first ones in. Double running back at the top, and then two wide receivers. I think the value on Lamar Jackson, if he goes back to what he was doing, is very good in the 5th round. And then Carnell Tate, I like as a 6th round take for the upside. I think he's going a little bit later than someone like Tet was last year. I'm on the clock here. In round 6, we've done some mock drafts where I have taken quarterbacks here, and I always find that I like quarterbacks later and wish that I hadn't taken Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts, even though I like these guys at that value. In this spot, I'm going for the upside with Brian Thomas for the bounce back. Barely Bat really wanting Amon-Ra and Ibuka this year. I like both those players. I like Ibuka to get closer to where he was in the first half of the year, that as opposed to the second half of last year. when Baker Mayfield had a lot of stacking up injuries and things like that. Ray J, am I crazy that I like Amon-Ra more than JSN? No, I don't think you're crazy. And then we'll just watch and make sure that this one's fine. So we'll just pause it and remove it. Easy peasy. Change the player. We'll have it take, oh, we'll change that to a non-quarterback. We'll change that to a non-tight end. There we go. Easy peasy. Do we still like Jordan Tyson in Dynasty? Yeah, I still like Jordan Tyson in Dynasty. Drew Ormsby. He's a very good prospect. Jake, thank you for the follow on TikTok. I still like, I'm not really worried long-term about any sort of injury with Jordan Tyson. We'll start to scroll down so we can track the players as they're going through. My pick here, if I was drafting and I took Brian Thomas here, I'm just not that excited with anyone in round 7, kind of who's going there. So maybe I would look at, I may just take like Mekhi Lemon here and go bigger upside on my wide receivers and have that be the way that we start to gain access to running backs if we needed to make trades. Let's change that one to Jaylen Warren. Evan Love is cooking right now. Is he? Is he playing right now? I expect Jeremiah Love is going to be good. And I would make the comparison with Jeremiah Love, like he's not on a good team. We saw Ashton Genty going right around here last year, 110, the 1-2 turn in drafts. And then he finished as running back 11. If Jeremiah Love, it would surprise me if Jeremiah Love was way outside of the top 12 running backs. My pick comes up here. I think we said we'd look at Mekhi Lemon. Now we have a bunch of wide receivers with big upside. I don't need all of them to hit. But if one or two of these guys hits, we're going to have a very good wide receiver room. And I'm okay if one of my players here misses. And then 8 and 9, I have some ideas. Keeney Bo, respectfully, of course, this team is cheeks. Okay. Which team? Evan, it's preseason, but something to look at. I'd say it's not. It's something to watch, preseason football, but I don't know that the changes that the fantasy market makes each year, or like the fantasy community, the players of fantasy, I don't know that the changes that they make based on preseason and training camp, like hype, players looking much, much better than they thought in those ranges, it is as actual, or like getting that excited about players in preseason games. I think it does more harm than good. Would I trade Isaiah? If you got a dynasty question, put it in on the site. Put it in on the site. Julie Prime just followed twice. Just redeemed Take It All Off. That's for, we do gaming streams and we wear headgear, just stuff on the hat. So take it off would just be to take off the bunny ears or the cat ears. There's nothing to take off right now. Got a bunch of these running backs here that don't excite me all that much. Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, Rico Dowdle. I do like RJ Harvey here. And I like Jadarian Price in the 6th. Redeemed, put on sexy cat ears. We'll leave them off for, I guess we could put them on. We'll put them on for a little bit. We haven't had them pop up on the fantasy streams, but Barely Bat's been here since last year. Ray J, am I more high on Emeka or Ladd? They both have looked really good. And I kind of like the way that both of their situations have changed, Ray J. Those guys are generally going, I mean, let's look at them in this draft. Ibuka here, Ladd here. I can go back to what I said last year about Ladd. I was looking at Ladd McConkey right around here at the 211-302 turn with Ladd McConkey slightly ahead of JSN and saying, I like these guys the same. That doesn't mean that we're going to be right. But if we're looking at a draft and these guys are going back to back, I like them both. There's a lot of positive things that I can say about both of them. I really like Ladd McConkey with no Keenan Allen there, with a much better offensive coordinator, with the tackles coming back to the Chargers. And I like Emeka Ibuka with a healthier Buccaneers team and with no Mike Evans there. So I think we're okay with both of them. Ashton Genty says, hands down, Robert's team is the best. I think the Lamar pick could be a league winner there. It puts me on the clock. Do I go with Chuba here? Yeah, I do. Ty Flax up, and then we'll change Tyler's if we need to. If Tyler wants to just pick off the top of the board, that's fine. We can't remove him, but we'll change it if we have to. Braden, Josh Allen, Achane. Is that your team, Braden? Braden, we're going to launch a team review system starting next week. Is it the Ashton Genty? It might be, Scoop. It might be. Actually, we'll just go ahead and can I just set it? Set player. We'll go with Jackson Dart. I don't think it's going to change things that much. There are going to be players in your league who draft 2 quarterbacks like this. I have definitely seen this happen. And then we'll look at who we're going to take for Tyler's team afterwards. Gainwell at the 8-12. Monungai at 8-10. I don't know that I'm going to find myself drafting Monungai that much or Gainwell that much. I remember my girlfriend's mom asked me if she should draft a quarterback first. Sometimes you do. And we'll set this one to Jacoby Myers. Got Ty Flack on the clock. And we'll do another one after this one. We'll go through some of the teams. We could put them on the board and you guys can throw the names in the chat of who you like. And the player that I wanted to come back, does he come back to me? Did I miss him? Search player. We'll go with Hubbard and Brooks. With the team where we have Derrick Henry, Jeremiah Love, those are going to be 2 starters. And then if we can get a third good starter from these 2 players, I am fine with saying my 8th round pick is a miss or my 9th round pick is a miss. I think we should just be able to look at our teams and say, we're not going to hit on every pick. And what we want to get is, if one of these guys is a top 12 running back, that's like Javonte Williams value. So we're getting 3rd to 4th round value, but also possibly punting a different thing. It's very hard to say. I mean, just look at it this way. Are you going to trade? Is anyone with Javonte Williams going to give him to you for Chris Godwin and Stephon Diggs? It's not likely. You're not going to be able to make a trade like that. But if you do something like this where you're saying, hoping one of these guys is the starter and then I'm fine if the other one is junk, but you get such a value win, I like to do that in drafts. If I'm not able to, if it doesn't fall to me to get really good running backs early. Gibbs at 1 instead of Kyle Pitts. It is a Mickey Mouse league, Lewis. Who was the player like that before Kyle Pitts, Lewis? Who was the player like that before Kyle Pitts? Or who's going to take him over? And if we want to do a Mickey Mouse league, we've got it. We've got the Minnie Mouse ears. This help you, Lewis? Does this make it feel a little bit better? I don't have Mickey's, but I do have Minnie. My daughter is 6 and she's not a boy, so we have Minnie Mouse. It is a bit of a Mickey Mouse league. It's also not a real league. It's also not a real league, Lewis. Likely as the tight end for Riffy Bob. I don't like it. I could definitely be wrong, but I don't like it. Kittle is the top tight end for Barden B. Where else are we looking at tight ends? This is something that I will keep track of throughout the draft. Like, I like Kelsey in the 8th round, and this is something that I would be tracking if I'm looking to draft a tight end late. I want to know how many players do or don't have one currently. Like, there are times where I will just write down all of the teams in a horizontal line of, do they have a tight end or not? And then start to track, like, can I wait for Travis Kelce throughout the draft because I like him a lot as a value in round 8? Lewis, how's my team in a 10-man? Lewis, we're going to have team reviews starting next week. Oh, I'm on the clock. Do I go Brian Robinson? Like, what other running backs are available? Not many. It's really, oh, because of the filter on there. I could go Aaron Jones here. I kind of like the value on Aaron Jones. I mean to draft him. Other players we could have taken there. I don't really like Kincaid. We could have grabbed Trevor Lawrence, and if he comes back to us, we would. We could take Stafford. I think I see who I do want to get. And then what other teams don't currently have a quarterback? We've got some later round running backs we're hoping to find value with. Bo Nix has gone here. Herbert has gone there. Bub may take a quarterback here. Oh, we got to set Tyler's player for him. We'll go Rams. Some people do take the Rams that early. I don't think you should take your defense that early. But every league has a taco, and they're usually named Tyler. David, what specifically makes you say no? Oh, should I trade London and Javonte Williams for Jamar Chase? You could. You could. Kamara's up. Tyler's back on the clock. Tyler's not going to take a third quarterback. He's not going to take a defense. Is he taking a second tight end? Sure. Got Ty Flack here on the board. Where is he heading? Where's he heading? He's got 3 really solid running backs. His wide receivers, he's going to need a bounce back from Jordan Addison. And I like Jordan Addison in the 9th round a lot. I really like Addison in the 9th round. Me on the clock, I wanted Gadsden here. I could also take Trevor Lawrence. If I'm looking at other players that might get back to me, Mahomes, Purdy, I'd be fine with. I could be fine with Jared Goff as my first quarterback. Where's Kyler? I may just wait and take Kyler. Oops. So I wanted Gadsden. I don't typically want to have 2 tight ends, but I just really like DeRondé Gadsden. I like what I've seen with Mike McDaniels and how he uses tight ends, how he did the past couple of years in Miami. I think Dallas Goedert is also a fine tight end option. With no A.J. Brown there, if the targets consolidate and reshape with their main passing options being like Devonta Smith, then Goddard, then Mekhi Lemon, it wouldn't surprise me if it went that way. If you're looking for a tight end late, you could also grab Jake Ferguson. I probably would have targeted Jake Ferguson before I took Isaiah Likely. But that's just personal preference. Granthison. Should I do the double running back strategy in a 3 wide receiver league? I don't do any sort of strategy, Granthison. Here's the thing, Granthison. Strategies are descriptive. They're not prescriptive. I don't know why they're called strategies. I think it's just something that people writing fantasy articles, podcasts, and videos just need another topic. Within the first 3 rounds, if you're looking at taking a double 2 running backs, just rank out 24 players and then take the top ones available to you. If it so happens to be that you end up with 2 running backs, great. But I would not go out of my way to plan to take two different positions like that, or any type of position like that. I think it's better to, can I pick running back the first 2 picks? You can. I just don't ever go into a draft saying I'm gonna do that, because you just end up passing up on value. If the only running back available, if Derrick Henry had been gone and it was just Ken Walker, I probably would have taken Nico Collins and then Jeremiah Love there, and then tried to get a running back in the 4th. You want to go 2 wide receiver? No, you don't. You don't want to go 2 anything. You don't want to go heavy any position. Just come up with pretty good rankings. Like I would be taking for sure A.J. Brown before Derrick Henry or before Ken Walker. Personally, user, it is a mock draft. It is a mock draft. So the way that it goes, like, if the draft falls to me that a running back is the best value there, or what I think is the best player in the first couple rounds, then I'm doing that. And then as we get into later rounds, we're very good at getting pretty close on the top 3 rounds. And then afterwards, I'll move on. Kartok says that's why you don't win much. Okay, Kartok. 102, I got Gibbs, Chase Brown, and Hampton from the 102. Was Chase Brown that late? Did that go Gibbs at 102? Maybe you're in an 8-team league. Maybe you're in an 8-team league, Christmas tree. Trevor Lawrence hits in the 12th round. We go with Herbert and Lawrence on Senti's team. Are these mocks? They are, Tommy. Car Talk, early rounds, tie. Sounds like you don't type too much, Car Talk. I'm on the clock here. I mean, we could take Stafford. We could take Purdy. Maybe I do just take Stafford here. And then with the next pick, grab a different quarterback. Ryan, can you get in on the next one? Yeah. You can. Kyler, rate the 12 man. No thanks. Car Talk, your team sucks. You play for playoffs, not the win. Okay, Car Talk. Oh, at this point, I'm not going to worry who Tyler takes. We'll let it run out. Car Talk, I'm not sure what you mean. 2 wide receiver, 3 flex, 101. You win the league, RN. Okay. Let's block him. User 1267. Do you like being in a ton of leagues? I feel like if I'm in too many, you got to root against your own guys. I mean, we'd be doing the same thing anyway, because we do ranks each week. I did find, I mean, it's different. It's different. I'm almost back on the board here. Baker Mayfield, I would have been fine with as my quarterback. I like Stafford because he finished so high last year that I'm shooting for that upside to return to get that much of a value win. Brock Purdy would be fine here. Am I looking at Brian Robinson, Jonah Coleman? I may just take Jonah Coleman. He's probably someone that I would cut pretty early. But if Dobbins got hurt by like week 3, I would go for that and take a big value win. Sports Jazz fan looking good with the ears tonight, bro. Thank you. Wesley Erickson, gotta try to grab running back in round 1, 2 if the value is there at ADP this year. I mean, Wesley, I'm just gonna point out you're not really saying anything. All you're saying is take good value, which is right. Logan Aja, struggling with my pick 5 in 12-man PPR, CMC, or JSN. You can also take Amon-Ra there, Logan. I will tell you, Logan, it doesn't matter. It does not matter that much. It just doesn't matter that much. You're struggling with, don't struggle with. Honestly, Logan, just flip a coin and then spend the rest of your time looking at hey, who am I taking in round 4? Who am I taking in round 5? Who am I taking in round 6? And find what are the good values there, doing more research around rounds 5, 6, 7, because that's where most people aren't looking. Most people aren't thinking. You can pivot and follow where to go, or follow what's happening in your draft and understand where you can pivot to take other players. Who you take at pick 5 just isn't going to matter that much. We don't know enough information to say Christian McCaffrey's for sure going to get hurt, or that you should take JSN and that he's going to repeat, or that they're going to score that much better than other players at their position. I think too many people are spending way too much time worrying about their first round pick. Pickens or Neighbors? Darian, I think there's more upside with Neighbors. Once we're getting out of these top rounds, that's where we start to make judgment calls and balance out our roster. And we can say, I think there's more upside with Malik Neighbors to be the lead wide receiver there. And George Pickens, I think a lot of what happened, or a lot of the value with George Pickens last year, was based on CeeDee Lamb missed a bunch of time and then had a high ankle sprain. Like you can come back from a high ankle sprain and not be fully healthy, and that's normal. So players who sprain their ankle early in the season, they're going to miss like 6 weeks like CeeDee Lamb did, and then come back and probably not be full speed. So if you're the offense like the Cowboys, you can just throw to George Pickens. Not every team has that. And then those players start to look much worse. Like it masks things, players coming back like that. Leah, how often does Ibuka go in the third round? It's going to be around third. I mean, is he on the board right now? Ibuka 310. I think I would have taken Tet ahead of Ibuka. I probably would have just swapped Tet for Ibuka and called that fine. Tet at 403. Grabbed him there. But he's going to be in that 3 to 4 round zone. Josh Price Gibbs versus Josh Allen, 101, 2 quarterback, PPR 8 man. I think it's Josh Allen. Vishingangat. In my draft, my first 2 picks were Puka and Bowers. Is that a good pick? Yeah. I think it's fine. It's fine. Really, with the first 2 rounds, we're just looking for, like, did you make any massive mistakes? Did you take, I think we saw someone take Javonte Williams in the 2nd round in one of these mock drafts. And that's what I would say, that's probably too much. That's probably too far. We haven't seen Javonte Williams produce at a level where he should be going in the 2nd round. As long as we're not going that way off book in rounds 1 and 2, you're fine. You're fine. Man, Seor, why is JSN not going 1 or 2? You could take him at 1 or 2. Man, why didn't he go at 1 or 2? Because a lot of managers like these players better. I mean, sometimes it's just not easy. Man, Seor. Malachi, should I trade Travis Etienne for Emeka Ibuka? Okay, if you have a bunch of running backs, we can get a better wide receiver. Sure. You guys want to run another one? How do I run another one? Let's put this one on the screen and we'll get another thing going. New mock draft. Start your draft here. Where should I pick? I'm going to pick from 10. That's where I wanted to pick last time. We'll copy the invite link. It's going in the Discord. Yeah, we'll do another one. And then this will be probably the final one, and we'll get off around 9. And then we'll be back again Monday through Thursday next week. And we'll have the ability to take a look at your guys' drafts and do team reviews for those. Luke, hey, Mean, who is better to draft, Genty, Achane, or Saquon? I think Genty and Achane are the choices I would take there. And then Saquon is a third one. But really, Luke, we're just trying to get players into a tier, and then we take anyone from that tier. And I think Genty and Achane are very close to each other. And kind of a flip on value, where Achane was on a fine offense last year, and the Raiders were pretty rough on offensive line. And I think the Dolphins are getting much worse this year as a team and on offense. And then I'm doing some work behind the scenes. The Raiders should be a little bit better. Now, I don't think either team's going to be amazing on offense. All right, the link is posted in the Discord, in the mock draft channel. Join up. Let's fill this one out. Sir Dinesh, rate my team. We're going to have team ratings next week, Dinesh. T. Higginston, in redraft, I traded up from 104 to 102 to get Bijan. It was 104 and a 5th for 102 and a 6th. I don't know that I love it. Jumping from 104 to 102. It's not one that I love. You didn't give up a ton, but it's not one that I love. I would like to go from 203 to 102, things like that. What I think about your rookie draft you had with taking Tate at 103, Concepcion at 108. I like Tate at 103. I don't know who went at 102. Maybe Mendoza did. I like Carnell Tate quite a bit. And Concepcion, like, I think this is one of the times where we have to say, and we don't know the future. We don't know the future. I remember last year I got Ibuka at 108, and a lot of people were saying they didn't like Ibuka going to the Bucks last year, and then it worked out fine. And there are plenty of times where bad teams become good because they got good players. Is that what Concepcion does? It wouldn't surprise me. Noah, who should you pick the first 2 rounds if what you have the 9th pick? We'll talk about it. We're about to do them. Noah, you could jump in on the mock draft and we'll talk about it. Sports Jazz fan, you worry about Concepcion a little since he didn't have a cute quarterback, but the talent is surely there. Yeah, I don't know that Jameis Winston or Touchy Magoo or Shadur Sanders really are that inspiring at quarterback. But we've seen rough quarterbacks produce fine fantasy players. We've got a dynasty trade question. Let's throw it up on the screen. It's right here. I can hit it. Wyatt with the question. The 108 Enrico Dowdle or Zay Flowers? It's a 12-team, 1 quarterback, start 9. If we're looking at Casey Concepcion in this range, Omar Cooper Jr., who else is there? There's no tight end premium, so Kenyon Sadiq. I'm taking Zay here. If I have the 108, I'm probably not getting Concepcion with the 108. It's a 1 quarterback league, so we're not really even looking at Mendoza in this range. I personally wouldn't be looking at Mendoza in this range. Which side of the deal would I rather be on? Zay Flowers. If I have Zay Flowers, I'm not trading him for a wide receiver that I hope just becomes Zay Flowers and Rico Dowdle. I would stick with Zay. And if I could turn my pick into a receiver young enough like Zay, I would take Zay. It turns out you had Zay Flowers, Hawk Tua. I would be more likely Hawk Tua to do a deal like that with your 110. Take the 110 and Kenneth Gainwell and try to just get a receiver that we think is going to score. Oh, okay. I've been reading the chat as we go through this with Luke saying nice team name Wyatt. And the league was your mother's ass. Oh, it's still on the screen. You can see it. We'll clear that out. We've got Kachow. Almost filled up? No. If you guys are looking to get in, the link is in our Discord. The link is in our Discord. We're going to run this one right now. Pop in. Pop in. We got Discord kitties. Hop in. I don't know what that means. Luke said that to me earlier. I don't know what a Discord kitty is. Deadeye, how do you like the ears? Kane. Dynasty or 2. Tyson, Casey, and late 27 first for neighbors and 10 team. If you have a dynasty question, Kane, put it in on the site. Put it in on the site. Deadeye, we try to stay gorgeous. We try to stay the #1 hottest fantasy streamer. The proper term is Discord kitten. What did I say, Luke? What did I say? What did I say? Because I don't recall. I said Discord kitty. And it's different. And it's different. Riffy Bob 69 in another one of those. We'll give this a couple minutes to fill up and then we will start it up. Start it. Is there a difference between Discord kitty and Discord kitten? What would the difference be? I also don't know what I'm saying. So if this is very offensive, you guys let me know. How do you join Starwood 1K? Pop in the Discord. There's a Discord link in the profile, my profile. You could swipe in, check it out, maybe hit a follow. It wouldn't kill you to follow me. And otherwise, it's right here. It's right here, guys. It's a tinyurl.com/boom Discord. Here's our Discord, Boom Bust Fantasy. We have our mock drafts. If you guys wanted to post mock drafts and do them with each other, it's right here. It's right here. User 89, start the draft so I can follow the draft. Jeffrey, do I have Superflex rankings out yet? Jeffrey, that implies that I was going to do Superflex rankings. I do really like Superflex. I typically play only Superflex. I don't know that I'm going to do Superflex rankings. CW, what's the link? The link for the Discord? It's like right above your chat, my man. User 89, follow you, dude. I want to follow a stream that actually drafts. Oh, user 89. I don't give a flying fuck if you follow me. I was joking when I asked the other guy. CW0749 to join mock. It's in the Discord, boss. It's right here. It's right here. It's right there. William Gizmo says Lamau. Guys, I don't know if follower counts matter. You just need to get to 10,000 and that activates TikTok monetization. After that, your follower count does not matter. We've got the link to join the mock draft right here in our Discord. If you want to join it, it is tinyurl.com/boom discord, as in Boom Bust Fantasy. Lath says at Lath, please. I don't know what that means, Lath. Lath, I don't know what that means. A-Man, thoughts on Achane? I'd like him in early to mid second round. A-Man. I think the Dolphins got a lot worse across the board. And I think that hurts a running back. He was what, running back 5 last year? So I like him going somewhere between running back 6, 7, 8, 9. CW. I'm an angry streamer, CW. I'm an angry streamer. I think I'm going to try to stay happy. I'm going to try to stay happy. Austin, Saquon, or Hampton, and why? I mean, I may take a wide receiver in that range. But with those guys, I don't know that I feel strongly about either one. There's big upside for Hampton, but we could get big upside on a bounce back for Saquon. In that range, I'm usually grabbing like AJ Brown and taking the wide receiver there. So I do want to throw that into the mix. And I may just go Chase Brown. Like, is Chase Brown completely out of the question between those? If we're talking Hampton, we're probably thinking like 201. Like, I might just take Hampton over both, or excuse me, I might just take Chase Brown over both. Grant, I went Jonathan Taylor 107 and Genty pick 17. Thoughts? I think that's getting Genty a little bit late, Grant. I don't have any issues with that. But Grant, there's very few. If people come in and tell me the players they took in the first 2 rounds, there's very few combinations where I would say that there's an issue. Lath, why aren't I answering you? How's T-Law, Derrick Henry, Scatabo? Oh, Lath, because I don't want to. That's why. That's why. Eli, half or full PPR better? I don't think it matters that much. Do I feel strong? I mean, I'm in half PPR leagues. I'm in PPR leagues. I don't know that I feel like I like one more. As long as there's some form of PPR, like at least half, then I'm okay. We got 2 more spots here. Alejandro, I'm in. Let's go. I don't see Tyler in here. The Tyler from before. Cade Unruh, pick 5, first and second rounds. What do you like? I like Amon-Ra at pick 5, JSN at pick 5. I mean, a lot of people are taking McCaffrey at pick 5. You might end up in leagues where someone takes McCaffrey like top 3. I don't know that you can really go wrong at pick 5. Gibbs, Bijan, Chase, Puka, McCaffrey, JSN. I'd fine with any of them. I may take JSN or Amon-Ra ahead of McCaffrey, but I think we're all right. Sansoon, sorry I joined, but I forgot to ask if I could. Oh, you can just join Sansoon. Sunsun43 on Twitch. Just join in, boss. Just join in. Luke, I have a confession to make. I joined and I was going to select Christian Watson at 103, but I couldn't. Oh, well, join, Luke. Join, take Christian Watson at a reasonable point. We did just have, I mean, I wouldn't have known it was you. And we did just have someone try to draft Lowell, Jordan, Humphrey a lot, so I just reset their picks. It's not that much work for me to just reset someone's pick. I understand the quarterback play, but London is super underrated this year. I think London is really underrated this year. Or actually, I think London's pretty properly rated. He's going right around AJ Brown and after Justin Jefferson. Some people are taking running backs ahead of them, but I think Drake London is like really properly rated. This area of the draft, 203, 204, 202. There we go. Lath, who do you like more? PPR, Derrick Henry, Achane, or Ken Walker? I think Achane. Achane, then Henry, then Walker. Luke Garza, Stribling popping off right now, low key. Guess who's going to send out some offers to get Stribling off my team? I have 7. No, it's probably me. How's he looking? I have not been watching any of the games tonight. How are the players looking? We've got 3 spots remaining on the mock draft. We are going to stop at 9, so this will be the final one that we do. Del Taco Boy, it's in our Discord. You can join the Discord from this link. TikTok does not let me do bot commands. Where like if you're on Twitch and on YouTube, you can just type !Discord and it'll do it. You're dopamine maxing. Madden preseason, you're live. Luke, Luke's lives will be coming back at some point. Carlos Cross, am I taking Cook over Achane? I am. I would take James Cook over Achane. And that one would just be the difference of like, I think one offense is likely to be quite good, and I think one offense is likely to be quite bad. But in a lot of spots, I will tell you this, Carlos Cross. If we're at, I mean, you'll see me at 110. I'm probably taking a wide receiver there if it falls to me that way. If CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson is here at 110, I'm probably taking them, and then just whichever running back is back on the wrap pack at 203. Because we've had people ask Achane, Cook, Hampton, Saquon, Genty, all in that range. I'll just take whichever one falls to me at 203, and I'll get who I think is a much better receiver. Sam Gunson, I accidentally clicked the wrong button and took Rashee Rice in Dynasty Startup over Ladd. Thoughts on Rice? I still like Rashee Rice. In a lot of Dynasty trades, I thought he went way too low, Sam. And your league doesn't let you undo an accidental click? Well, I always let people undo. I let people undo if they say something real quick. William Gizmo, is Tank Dell dust? He's really small. He's really small. I think the stat that I had heard on Tank Dell is like no wide receiver that small has ever been successful in fantasy long term. So I mean that's a very gross misstating of the stat that I had heard. That's something I heard when he was playing and very good, and then he got hit in the end zone and his whole body exploded. We've got 12. Speaking of exploding bodies, let's blow up this draft. We will remove any picks that are wild, and we'll just keep moving. Do I think Puka is going to regress? What does it regress? Like, I don't know that he's going to regress. Did he only explode last season because of Stafford? I mean, Stafford's still there, so why would I care? Do I think Puka's going to regress? I mean, I did a lot of live streams with sleeper draft boards pulled up last year. I had Puka going, I think we were saying 7, 8, 9 was Puka, Amon-Ra, Malik Neighbors over and over and over. So going from pick 108 to now 104. Do I think he's going to regress? No. Yes. No. Like, he'll be a very, very good receiver. 105, I'm fine with JSN. I know we've had a lot of questions on that one. Nick, this is a mock draft. Jeff's Cornerstone, you have the 8th pick, full PPR. If between Jetta, CD, Cook, who am I taking? I'm probably taking CD Lamb of those. Here we've got Christian McCaffrey at 108. He'll probably get taken there. CeeDee Lamb goes there. There goes McCaffrey. I'm looking at Jefferson, and this, we've said this a little bit. I like a lot of these running backs over Drake London, and I like Justin Jefferson much more than Drake London. So the way I'm viewing this, if I just take Justin Jefferson here, I'm going to be very happy with whichever running back is there at 203. And I think this is the way more people should be thinking about their drafts. Like, here's a ton of running backs, and I'm going to be happy with whichever one comes back to me. We don't need to pick nits on these guys. Genty ahead of James Cook. There goes James Cook. Does he take a running back? Is Nick? He goes Chase Brown. Hampton comes back. Do I go Saquon Barkley? I mean, at this spot, I may just take Achane. Of the other running backs, Barkley's available. I don't particularly love Devon Achane, but I think I would just take him there. Ben TB19, my website? My website right now is Dynasty. We're launching redraft tools next week, Ben. So we'll add in during the onboarding, you'll be able to sync your ESPN leagues and then use our trade builders, our trade analyzer that will come out pretty soon, as well as submit your questions for the show. But right now it's just a Dynasty tool. AJ Brown goes at 206. I think that's really good value. I may have taken Drake London ahead of Saquon Barkley, ahead of Derrick Henry. So we had someone in the chat saying Drake London is a bit undervalued. He is here. He is here. Ben, it's just Dynasty right now. So we have ESPN like 90% of the way done for league syncing and showing things for ESPN leagues. And then we'll build out Yahoo right after that. And sleeper leagues as well. So we've got tools for like building out trades for your leagues. We've got a trade analyzer that we feel pretty good about for Dynasty that's close to launching. Evan, what do I think about Carnell Tate? I think he's fine value in the 6th round. If he fell into the 7th, I'd be really happy to take him. PJ Cash, what do you think about Waddle being a massive sleeper? Let's take a look at where he's going. I think Jalen Waddle could, it would not surprise me at all if Jalen Waddle was wide receiver 12 this year. We had Cortland Sutton as wide receiver. Was he 12 last year and 15 the year before? Can I find him? So the lead wide receiver for Denver was 13 and 15. And I think Jalen Waddle is much better than Cortland Sutton. And I think the Broncos situation for wide receivers, like there's just room for wide receiver growth, or like room for the offense that goes through wide receivers to grow. Because it was Cortland Sutton and then kind of junk behind him. Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, players that I think just don't have value now. What about Jeremiah Love? I like Jeremiah. I mean, we grabbed Jeremiah Love in a mock draft at 304 earlier in the show. I think that's great value for him. If somehow he fell down to 310, I'd take him there. Jeremiah Love is in a situation like not that different to what Genty was in last year, and Genty was getting drafted here. Jeremiah Love going a full round later is just kind of a reaction to Genty wasn't as good as some other top 10 pick running backs in the past. Like Saquon was good right away. Ezekiel Elliott was great right away. Genty could now be great in year 2, but he wasn't last year. So I think people are just not taking Jeremiah Love. There are also concerns about the Cardinals. I don't have that strong of concern with the specific team there. I like Bowers here at 302. A lot of late tight ends this year, or tight end later this year. Is Jeremiah Love the clear guy in Arizona? They also brought in Algier, so I wonder if he'll take snaps away from the rookie. The example I gave in a video was like James Cook. I don't want to click the wrong thing. James Cook last year, like he's the clear guy, but he's not out there all the time. You want to check snap percentage. Like 67%, 73, 72, 50, 44. He's barely clearing 75. I think he stayed under 70% of the snaps most of the year. Like Tyler Algier fits that someone's got to cover the other 25 to 30% of the snaps. Like, that's Algier. You can be very good and not get what Jonathan Taylor gets. Jonathan Taylor gets like 80 to 90% of the snaps. We can go for a comparison. He's one of the few running backs who's hitting like 93, 79, 87, 92, 87, 79, 91. There are not that many running backs hitting that high of snap percentages. Like Gibbs didn't. David Montgomery was there and he was amazing. So I don't know that we need the running back we have to get as much of the work as we think. J. Rose, seventh pick of a 10-man, looking at St. Brown. Good, possibly Jefferson there on the way back, or go running back. I mean, you could take a running back there, J. Rowe, but just write out. I mean, what is that? Pick 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know why I'm counting like that. I should go 7, then pick 8, 9, 10. Then it comes back to 10 or 11, 12, 13. Like your rank 15 guys is the short version, J. Rowe. Just write down 15 names in order of how you would take them. I'm on the board here, 310. I would not go Lamar here. I could take Tet McMillan. I kind of like Bucky Irving. Javonte Williams went in the 7th. Is Kyron Williams available? That is probably who I would take here if he's not gone. Kyron Williams went 303. I haven't been paying attention. I'm not always paying attention as I do these. I'm going to take Bucky, and I'm going to be happy with whichever wide receiver then comes back to me. So the same way when we looked at Justin Jefferson, my face is frozen on TikTok. Am I there on TikTok? I think I'm still there on TikTok. The same way that I went Justin Jefferson early and said, I'm going to be happy with whichever running back falls back to me. I went Bucky Irving here thinking I'm going to be happy with whichever wide receiver gets back to me. I could have also said, I'll take, if I felt really strongly about any of these receivers, I would have maybe for Tet said that I'll take Tet and hope that one of Irving or ETN falls back to me. But I'm also just as happy to take Colston Loveland here or T. Higgins. Like Loveland in the 4th, I quite like. We did that last draft, so I'm just going to do T. Higgins. Nazarite, can we do a salary cap mock? Not likely. It's Nazarite. I like super flex leagues. I like auction drafts or salary cap drafts. Almost no one else does. So I think more people should do their drafts as an auction. And I think more people should play in super flex or 2 quarterback leagues. But I also want people to watch the live stream. So I get kind of torn. If I had my way, more people would play Dynasty and we would just be talking Dynasty. But if I showed something that happened a ton last August, I showed our Dynasty startup sleeper drafts, and every minute someone comes in and says, why is there a quarterback in the first round? When we did a mock draft on ESPN, because we needed a demo league for ESPN, a ton of people were coming in saying, why aren't you using sleeper? And that's just kind of annoying. So it's unlikely. What do I think about drafting 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds? I think there are more upside with later round wide receivers. If you feel very good, KP, RR4GS on YouTube, I don't see a real name for you. I'm looking at the YouTube feed and it just doesn't show me display names. If you feel like you can find that way, go for it. I don't really ever go into my draft saying I'm going to go running back. I kind of just let the draft come to me because I've done a bunch of mock drafts and I have an idea of who's going in what rounds. And as things change and as I need to during my draft, I just pivot. In this spot, I could have taken a wide receiver and then risked Bucky or ETN not coming back to me at 403, but I liked all these wide receivers about the same, so I just grabbed a running back and then went wide receiver. I'm thinking more about stuff like that. Having an analysis on Smith, McMillan, Ibuka, McConkey, Higgins, Flowers, and saying, I like them all. I'd say think more like that to find other thing, throughout the draft, who you can grab where and when, rather than, well, should I go running back because someone on TikTok said it was a good strategy? I think there's a lot of stuff right now with people making TikTok videos. Like they just want views. I get paid for my views. I also want views. Do I think it's a real thing you should be doing to plan to go running back? No. Because I can't tell you that that's a blanket good strategy or that draft strategies are that much of a thing in general. What pick am I, Russell? Pick 10. Pick 10. LOL, I did learn this on TikTok, KP. Because we're all trying to get the TikTok views. It's the same type of thing as this draft pick is a good draft pick. And there was one TikTok I saw of someone saying, if you have pick 8, it's the worst pick. No, it's not. It's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing. And really, I'm just torn thinking, should I just say these stupid things and get views? Or should I guess the best way would be to come up with the most convincing and kind way to tell people that it's just kind of nonsense. It's just nothing. Which tight end do I like outside of Bowers and McBride? I like Tyler Warren quite a bit. And I think the drafting here of Loveland and Warren very close to each other, that's about how I would value them. I'm not that high on Loveland, and I'm definitely not low on Warren. Oh, I'm up. At this spot, am I taking Drake May? Am I taking Joe Burrow? No. I might just go Tootin here. Do I go Tootin here and then grab one of these tight ends on the way back? Like Sam Laporta comes back to me. Tucker Kraft probably comes back to me. Fannin comes back to me. So I think I'm going to take the upside on Tootin. If this was a real league for me, that's the way I would be thinking about this. If Tootin works out and he gives me kind of value that ATN did last year, I think that puts us in like round 3-4 value, or it just frees me up to trade Achane with a lower wide receiver for a stud wide receiver. I'd be looking at like, if I get 2 running backs from Bucky and Tootin, can I move Achane and someone that I take in round 9 to get JSN? Because I think Tootin will have more tradable value or give us access to trade a running back. And then whichever tight end I get here, I'd be happy with. Kraft, Laporta, Fannin, Pitts. Or I could just plan to go round 8, Travis Kelce, which I may just do. William Gizmo, I like the honesty, even though you are right now about the view farming. Am I? I'm right now. Am I view farming? No, I am doing something else, William. I don't know that I'd say I'm view farming. If I liked Terry McLaurin here, oh, not me. Oh, I probably would have taken Jordan Tyson if he was here. I'm going to go Tucker Kraft on the bounce back. And here's what I'm learning. In round 6 and 7, I just need to find wide receiver. I should have gone Christian Watson. I always do this. Christian Watson is who I want to take here. So something that I would do in real drafts, as we're going through mock drafts, like I'll write down notes into my draft in round 6, just take Christian Watson. Because that's who I wish I would have taken here with Kraft and then waited until round 8 and just taken Travis Kelce. PJ Cash, Kyler Murray being trash doesn't worry you about Jefferson? No. William, the people who talk about ranking the draft picks and stuff, I mean, people want to hear it. People want to hear it. You like Watson as much as the next guy, but not more than Terry McLaurin. I think I would have gone Watson. Kyler Murray season. I think we did Kyler in our last. I know you do, Luke. Zach, thank you for the follow. Give me Terry's track record. Sure. I think Terry's track record is closer to these non-13 touchdown years. 14, very good. But I think he's closer to 25, 20, 28. 4.54, and then a big outlier jump in 13 on touchdowns without really changing receptions, without really changing yards year over year. That's been my take on Terry. I don't know that I could even say I got my Terry McLaurin take right last year when he was, a third or fourth round pick because he got injured. But I did not draft Terry McLaurin anywhere last year. I think he's around wide receiver 20 to 24. Yeah, and in the 6th round, that's not bad. How do I like Hampton and Fannin? I don't know that I'm gonna draft a lot of Harold Fannin. Like in this range, I'm going Kraft ahead of him, and hoping that he bounces back to what he was when he was one of the top receiving options for Green Bay last year. So I'm probably taking Kraft ahead of Fannin in most spots. And then am I drafting Fannin if I know that I could just get Travis Kelce, who was tight end 5 last year, in round 8, or just reach for him at the end of round 7? I don't think I'm going to take Fannin a lot. Right, I'm probably going to take Christian Watson a lot more than I take Fannin. I could be fine taking Terry McLaurin more than Fannin. I would take Brian Thomas in the same range as Harold Fannin, maybe a little bit more, knowing that I could just take Kelce later. Thoughts on pairing a wide receiver and a quarterback? Who would I target? Tyler Kitterling also asking, got any tips for a 14-man? Quarterbacks become more valuable. That's kind of disgusting. I'm just chewing my fingernails. There was a time last year that people called out like, hey, you're picking your nose a lot. And I had to think about that and fix that. So hopefully I haven't been. You're welcome. Hurts in the 7th. There's just a lot of quarterbacks this year. Oh, that's what I want to say. Luke. Luke plays in more 14-team leagues. If he's got anything in the TikTok chat, I'll relay it to you on Twitch. Like quarterbacks become slightly more valuable, but even here, I don't know that I would look for, if I'm in a 14-team league, I'm probably targeting like Hurts in the 7th, Jaden Daniels in the 7th or 6th. Russell God, do you drink beer? I always have a beer while drafting. I do drink beer. I stopped drinking beer on the lives. And I don't have a long reason why. Luke says definitely mock more to get a feel for it. Tight end and quarterback are more scarce. And I know you like 14 teamers. Ooh, I do like Makai Lemon there. I like Makai Lemon in the 7th. Yeah, you probably find more value or more. Oh, I need to pick. Do I take Caleb Williams? I don't know that I do. I think I might go RJ Harvey here. Do I just go like Harvey Dobbins? No, I kind of want a wide receiver. Are there wide receivers available? Alec Pierce. Who did it auto draft? It auto drafted Caleb. That's all right. Sports Jazz fan, didn't hear you're lower on Loveland than others. If so, there's a reason. Not necessarily like low. I mean, I guess lower than others on Loveland. The take is really the same for Loveland and Tyler Warren. The things that we see teams do when a key piece of their offense is injured is not a great sign of what's going to happen going forward. So if Roma Dunze breaks his foot and like can play, can't play, so they go to Loveland and Burden, that doesn't mean they're gonna go to Loveland as much again. I still think he's really good. I would still take him in the 4th round. I took him in the last mock draft. I almost took him in the 4th round here. I need to get off of turn off auto pick. Let's talk about my pick. We just took Caleb Williams. I probably would not have done that. I might go, do I go J.K. Dobbins? Here's something I would think for real in my draft. I have 2 wide receivers. If I draft J.K. Dobbins, do I trust him as a flex? I could go Dobbins here. I would have also considered Alec Pierce. I may just take Chris Godwin. In a real draft, I would be considering taking J.K. Dobbins here or Rico Dowdle and saying that frees me up to trade Tootin if he hits for a wide receiver. But I'll just go Godwin because I also like him at this price. I could have also gone like Jacoby Myers there. But the way that I would be thinking about this is if I take J.K. Dobbins and he's starting like he was last year, like there was a stretch where it was the rankings, weekly rankings around week 5 last year was, do I like Javonte Williams or do I like J.K. Dobbins? Do I like Dobbins or do I like ATN? So if Dobbins is healthy again, he could easily get right back into that same range. And if he is in that same range, can I then trade Bucky Irving away for a wide receiver? Even if I needed a wide receiver, there's times where I would just take a running back if I think he's going to become startable tier. If my 8th round pick returns 4th round value, can I then just trade away something else to get a better position? Chase says, I'm telling you, Dobbins is the man as a healthy boy. I'm up here hyping up Dobbins. What's my thought on Pickens going before AJ Brown? I don't like it. I like AJ Brown over Pickens. Kohler Rhodes. Or is it Cole Rhodes? If I had to pick one, Achane or Genty, we were in that spot right here. Here is the spot we were in where we could have taken Achane or Genty, Luke, and we specifically said, I want Justin Jefferson and I don't care which one of these 5 running backs I get. I would have been just as happy to get Genty here, and I think you should be thinking of your draft like that, especially if you're in the range to draft Achane or Genty. Like, I don't know that it matters that much. Cole Rhodes. Thank you. So when I was looking at this, I thought if I take Achane here or if I take Genty here, there's no way Justin Jefferson comes back to me, or it's very unlikely that he comes back to me. So I'll just take Jefferson here because I'm very happy with whichever running back I get on the comeback. And then the reverse was here. I liked Bucky Irving and I liked all 5 of these wide receivers, and I was fine with whichever one came back to me. Sports Jazz fan Loveland is another guy I really like with his potential usage of how much Caleb targets him. What are your thoughts on Burden? Has the hype gone too far? Depends where you're drafting. And a follow came through. Michael, thank you for the follow. It depends where you're drafting. I like Burden in the 5th, and that's about where he's going on Sleeper ADP. Like Sleeper builds in on their site the order that it's going to show players to fantasy managers. ESPN has Burden in like the 4th round. I think that's too far. A lot of times I want someone to take Burden in the 5th or 6th round, and it's probably not going to be me. If someone else, that's also something that I consider when I'm doing my drafts. I'm not going to get every win. Not every value win is going to go to me. And I'll especially feel that way, Nazari, when I'm in an auction draft or a salary cap draft. Like other people can get values too. I don't have to get every slam value or bid every time and then end up spending all my money right away because I feel like I got too many values and then I run out of roster spots. I've had that as an issue for me. The draft screen is too small. You can't see. We're on live on Twitch and YouTube too, Rich. Luke, give the 109 and a 10, man. I'm taking CD, and I think Genty and Achane will both be there. Then I think you're fine with both ones. Is it Genty and Achane? I mean, Achane was running back 5 multiple times. If you don't think the Dolphins' offense is getting that much worse, go with Achane. I think it's all right. Jay Shiesty, I think, or who was that? That wasn't Jay Shiesty, was it? That was Luke. Think deeper about the other rounds. Like Genty versus Achane is not going to tank your league. You want to be finding players who can shoot up in value later in the draft, and then use those things to be trading. Because once we're done with the draft, we go right into weekly setup and we go into like regular season in redraft leagues. And in a league like this, these settings, Kelsey in the 9th, I really like. I would have taken Kelsey in the 8th if I hadn't taken Tucker Kraft. In this spot, am I going Jacoby Myers? In round 9, if I can get Jordan Addison, I'm taking him and hoping that he's a top 24 wide receiver. Coy says team 2 is amazing. We can pull it up. I'm about to pick. I'd like to see that in a couple seconds. You're liking team 2? That's Riffy Bob. I don't know who he is in TikTok or YouTube. Here's the other thing that I'm looking at when I'm mock drafting. I'd be fine with Jake Ferguson as my tight end. He's been consistent. He's been fine. He's a player that you can draft and then put as your tight end each week and know that you're not losing. And if you can get that in the 10th round, do we need to take Tucker Kraft? Should we reach for a tight end elsewhere, knowing I can just take Jake Ferguson and he'll be fine? That is something that I would be considering throughout the draft. Do kind of like Jaden Reed, kind of like Rashad White. In this spot, I would go Matthew Golden. Once we get into rounds like 10, 11, 12, 13, I want big upside and I don't care if I miss, because there are going to be plenty of players on waivers once we get into the regular season that I either want to hit big or I don't care if I miss late here. And that's a Matthew Golden type. I would take Chris Rodriguez. I could have taken Chris well, if he was there at this pick, I would have considered Chris Rodriguez to pair with Tootin. Not necessarily as a handcuff, but just like, I think Tootin's the lead guy, but if Rodriguez is better, like Rodriguez beat out Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt last year and was playing as one of the more lead running backs for the Commies. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened for the Jags. So I would be fine taking Tootin early and then just saying, let's make sure we get the guy. And I would grab Rodriguez. He wasn't there though. Anto, keep McBride or Rice. 3 wide receiver half point PPR, not per round. So there's no round penalty. I think I'm drafting McBride ahead of Rice. Michael, yes on Loveland. Joe Birdie, you're picking from the 101, and any tips? Is Scatabo and Carnell Tate worth it? Tate in the 5th, I don't get as excited about, but Tate in the 6th, I really like. Kind of depends where you're going. Can you see from round 1? Sure. Nick, we'll pull it down. If this was a draft I was actually doing, like the Jaden pick a lot. Jaden Daniels in the 7th. Coy, I like it. 112 and 201. What running backs am I taking? I might take a wide receiver running back combo there and hope to get like Bucky or ETN at the 3-4 for a second one. I think people have decided they can get great wide receiver production. And I don't know that you're really going to beat what AJ Brown does or Drake London. So I may go 1 running back, 1 wide receiver there, but it's going to depend who's there. I mean, all of these guys like Genty, Cook, Brown, Hampton, Achane, I kind of just like them as a blob. A blob of guys, just a strong tier of running backs. Osman Yavez in a double flex PPR 101. Do I go double wide receiver after I choose Gibbs? No, you shouldn't have any sort of strict positional plan, Osman. Like talking about wide receivers, I like Nico Collins much more than I like Chris Olave. So if Nico Collins is here, I'll take Nico Collins. But if Olave is the only wide receiver there, I'm not going double wide receiver and taking Olave. I would take some other things like Trey McBride. I might grab Kyron Williams there. I don't do a lot of first 3-round planned wide receiver running back combo plans. We have that on our YouTube as well. Our general draft strategy, and then the follow-up videos are like, here are the running backs I like in each round of ADP here. And we'll do for Monday, here are the wide receivers I like. And then after that, we'll do quarterbacks and tight ends so that you're not left scrambling. You can say like in round 5, Scatabo can be there. I can get a running back in round 5. Judkins and Trevion Henderson will be there in round 5, round 6. I can get running backs in other spots. Oh, I'm on the clock and we had closed it. Who would I take here? I would not take some of these quarterbacks. I would take Charbonnet here. I'm not going to be able to click it. It should put me on auto draft. I'd probably just take Charbonnet in round 10. Like Stafford, it's starting to fall apart because we're just talking instead of drafting. Cole didn't take a wide receiver till round 4. Ended up with Devonta Smith, Ladd, T. Higgins, BTJ, and Michael Wilson. It could work out for you. It could definitely work out for you. William, give him to me. It doesn't matter that much. Jay Shiesty, do you like waiting and grabbing Caleb, Dart, Lawrence over spending on the top 5 guys? Jay Shiesty, I'm almost never going to spend on the top 5 guys. I took Caleb here. I think this one auto-picked. Jay Shiesty. I would have been fine with just Stafford as my quarterback. I would have been fine with just Bo Nix as my quarterback in round 10. I would be fine right now if I had taken other players for Caleb and Stafford and just gotten Kyler Murray in round 12. So I don't take the top quarterbacks that often. Like, is Jackson Dart really for sure going to outscore Kyler Murray? He's been top 8, top 7, top 10 every year that he's been the starter somewhere. I need to make a pick. I guess Charbonnet is still available. Is he? No. We'll set us on auto draft for the remainder of it. I would not draft Khalil Shakir. I will say that. Shakir is just not someone that I'm drafting in redraft for the same reason that I was talking about with Jordan Addison and Matthew Golden. I want big value risers or I want misses. And Shakir is just going to be wide receiver 30. What's his best finish? Wide receiver 35, 37. Like, we're drafting him as a wide receiver 37. I just don't want this type of player. I want it to hit or I don't want him at all. I don't want to be looking at Khalil Shakir at week 4 and saying, maybe I need him to cover a bye week. I want a guy that I know. I want to know that I've hit on a player and traded them away or traded someone else away, or I just want a player that I can drop. Texas Tejano, welcome back, my man. Jonathan Taylor or Justin Jefferson at 108. What about CeeDee Lamb? I would probably go CeeDee Lamb there. But Texas Tejano, when we were looking at here, I had 110 and I went Jefferson. If I was 108, I may still take the wide receiver and then just be happy with whichever one of these running backs comes back to me. I'd be okay if it was Derrick Henry. I think he was running back 8 or running 7 back. Running back 8 in PPR scoring last year. Like, I'll take running back 8. I think he can still do it. So I'd be fine taking Derrick Henry there. And we're going to end this very, very soon. We're 20 minutes over what I told my wife we would do. Do I like Romeo Doubs in New England? He's like the same thing as Khalil Shakir. Is he going to do anything? In this spot, my real pick for Shakir, I may have grabbed someone like Stribling, someone who's kind of hyped right now. People know about him based on the injuries happening around him. What I'm hearing tonight from you guys is that he's doing well in his preseason game. So I would be looking at someone like Stribling that if they looked good in weeks 1 and 2, it's a big value win from round 12, and I could probably trade him at like a sixth or 7th round price. Post Riffy, thoughts on your draft from pick 2, your Riffy Bob? I really like Nico Collins at 211. I like Trey McBride at 302. Garrett Wilson compared to, I like Garrett Wilson there. I like Wilson. If Judkins had fallen there, I would have grabbed Judkins. I'm not that excited about what I would have done with Jaylen Warren is probably tried to find, I don't know where Dowdle went. I probably would have gone Dowdle over Krusky Merritt there and just gotten the guy for the Steelers. And then maybe grabbed or taken like Ramondre. No, I like Jaden Daniels there. I would just be looking for running backs. Like, I think there's a very real situation where Jaylen Warren isn't great or is fine, but Rico Dowdle paired with a head coach who's used Dowdle before just goes with Dowdle or has them split. And then I don't know how good Ja'Cory Krusky Merritt's going to be. So I know people are very hyped on running backs. This is a very light running back setup. And I'd like to have 2 that I feel confident starting. Nick, thoughts on your team at team 12? Cook Brown, Tetabuka Evans is probably going to get you through. So we have 2 strong running backs, and then we feel okay that we hammered wide receiver. I like Sam Laporta to bounce back. I like the offensive coordinator coming over to Detroit from Arizona, where Trey McBride was really good. I mean, Laporta was all right before getting injured last year. And then I like the shots on Tony Pollard to fill in for you. I like Harvey as a decent RB2. Where's Achan? I don't see him. Right here, 203. I got Achan. The only thing I don't particularly love is like the later shots, but I think we're just in mock draft mode. I'm a late quarterback guy. I like Baker. My dog's feeling a little bit hurt. I didn't touch her. She hurt her leg outside, and when she gets up, she sometimes yelps. How did I do at the 8th pick? 8th will be the final one we look at. The first thing I'd say is I don't like Jordan Love. I don't think I like Jordan. As someone who likes to wait on quarterback, I like to get people who are more regularly finishing within the top 10, where I would have gone Baker Mayfield or top 10 or top 12, where Jordan Love sits at like 15 and is just kind of replacement level. Maybe we're just saying we're streaming quarterback and you've looked at the matchups for week 1. I don't have that in front of me. How was Mark Andrews last year? I have a feeling, this is kind of where I thought he was. He won't lose you the league, but like will barely win on anything for you. That's kind of my thoughts at your quarterback and your tight end. I do like the upside shot for Kenyon Sadiq there. I like to pair Sadiq with like Loveland or Warren, where if I get a winning guy, I can then just trade Loveland and Warren away. I like Brooks. I like Rashad White. Olave at 308, pretty solid. And I think I like the shot that you took on Derrick Henry. We're going to wrap it there. We'll do more of these next week, Monday through Thursday. And then we should have your redraft team reviews. I can't do it, Del Taco Boy. It's already too late. Del Taco Boy wants us to take a look at pick team 6. But I'm going to end the stream. I can't do all of them. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll be back not tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Friday night. I don't think anybody wants to watch this on a Friday night. Maybe they do, and I'm completely wrong. But I will be hanging out, and then I'll be back on Monday. Take care, gang. See you. Take